Hey, what's up? It's Todd with Real Social Dynamics. The subject for today's video is nihilism, which is a philosophy which I completely hate. However, it's a philosophy which is very, very useful for game. I don't want to kind of get into that a little bit. Basically, I had a realization recently where a lot of people that I know that are really, really good at game, they've been telling me these philosophies of sort of like the world is going to end, or we're all going to die, you may as well risk it, live for the moment, all these, and actually like even telling me about like taking stupid ass actions. And the funny thing is that, you know, if you see it once, you kind of dismiss it, you see it again, you're like, whatever, but then you start seeing it over and over again, and you're like, wait, what is this pattern? Why is it that so many guys who I respect, who are good at game, who have this sort of like charisma about them, why do they all believe this philosophy? And I've always said that it's a pointless philosophy, because even if it's true that nothing has meaning, you may as well assume that it has meaning, and then if you find out you're wrong, at least you led and attempted a meaningful life, right? And if nothing has meaning, then you know, you lived a pointless life and it's over, or you tried to live a life with meaning and it was still pointless and it's over. You end up in the same place, so what's the point, right? I don't know if that made sense, but that's always been my view on nihilism. However, what I've realized recently is there's this huge correlation between people who take risks, people who fuck up their life even, and people who get success. For example, it was not a coincidence, in my opinion, that when I was down in Australia, specifically in Melbourne, I had girls left and right wanting to pull with me, ended up pulling like every single night pretty much, and also happens to be the first time I've ever gotten in a fight due to game. Interesting that those two things happened in the same weekend. And why is that? It's because I was at a place there where I was just not backing down, just never ever backing down no matter what anyone would do at me. So here's the thing. There's a lot of power in life to having nothing to lose, right? I say this a lot of times with sets, right? What I do whenever I open a set, I open with something that's very cool, very classy, and then if that doesn't work, I'll go to something a little more obnoxious, a little more high energy. If that doesn't work, then I fucking throw the kitchen sink at them. Then I try anything and everything.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
It's not until you've lost everything that you're free to do anything, right? As long as you're trying to have something in reserve, as long as you're trying to have a fallback plan, as long as you're trying to maintain, then you're not going to be as strong. Like similarly to when you open, if you open and you're trying to maintain your ego, you're trying to maintain your self-esteem, your self-respect, you won't go all the way because you're trying to hold something back. Whereas if you just go and you say, fuck it, it's either going to open or it's not, and if it doesn't open, I'm going to look like an idiot and I'm okay with that, ironically, that's when it opens, right? Or when you're in a situation where you have to make a guy back down, you have to make a girl back down, if you go in there and there's any little bit of flinch where you're afraid of a fight, they're going to notice that and you won't be as effective. But if they literally know that you will like take it all the way and you will never back down, it will work, right? Similar kind of example. There's the game Chicken, the like car game from the 1950s, which by the way is dumb, don't play it. Like I'm going to tell you the optimal chicken strategy. Actually, the optimal chicken strategy is don't fucking play chicken. But the optimal chicken strategy in a game theory perspective would be, and this is interesting, what you do is you take your steering wheel, you remove it from the car, let the other person see you remove it from the car, throw it out the window, and then they have no choice but to swerve, assuming they're logical, right? Now, assuming someone who's logical is playing chicken is a problem. But the idea being, if someone truly knows that you have nothing to lose, if someone truly knows that no matter what, you are going all the way, there's a lot of power to that. There's a lot of power to having nothing to lose. There's a lot of power to not having to give up, not having to back down. And the other person, if they're trying to maintain, at some point, they're gonna have to back down, okay? Another great example. A friend of mine in Washington, D.C., he had just gotten a brand new car. It was a really, really nice car, liked it a lot. He went out to a club, parked at the club. Some homeless guy's like, hey, give me $5. He's like, nah, sorry, man, good luck. He's like, okay, give me $5 or I will key your car. In this moment, what had been this brilliant asset to him, this thing that he loved so much, suddenly became a liability because now he had something to lose, right? The homeless guy basically took the fact that he had something to lose, used it against him, and now he made his life inconvenient. So now he has this choice of go repark the car, give the homeless guy money, deal with the risk of having his car keyed, something like that, right? But the fact that he had something to lose now constrains him, it holds him back. And that's the problem. That's the thing in game. In order to be totally in the moment, in order to totally play to win, you really should have nothing held back, okay? So am I saying that you should throw away everything in your life and take crazy risks and end up getting yourself like in prison and getting yourself in fights all the time. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying though is the extent to which you can go into a social interaction with the ability to lose everything willingly, you'll be more charismatic. The ability that any sort of relationship you go into, any sort of business deal you go into, anything you do along those regards, if you absolutely can walk away, if you don't get attached to your investment, then you will be more powerful. The person who loses in a negotiation is the person who loses the ability to walk away first, right? Have you ever been in a situation with a girl where you know you're better than the girl, for lack of a better term? You know you can get this girl. You know it's a girl that's within your wheelhouse. It's a girl that you should be able to get, but for some reason, you just get invested. You put in some time and effort, maybe take it on multiple dates, or she says something that's kind of interesting. You're like, oh, I've never met a girl who's a gymnast before, or I've never met a girl who does XYZ thing or relates to me in this way. And all of a sudden, this little switch goes off in your head. You're like, I don't want to lose this one. And as soon as that switch goes off, as soon as you don't want to lose her, you're fucked. You're fucked because you've lost your ability to walk away. So you should always maintain that ability to walk away. Always realize that anything you have, you can lose, should be willing to lose, because unless you can lose it, here's the Zen thing, unless you can lose it, you don't really have it. If you can't put it down and pick it up again, you don't possess it, it possesses you.
Things you own end up owning you.
Who gets the close ones? The guys who have nothing to lose. The guys who really, really, really are willing to play it hard and they're willing to deal with any consequences. The guys who are willing to, this is a Jeffy thing, willing to spray a girl down with a hose at the end of a date if she doesn't sleep with him, because that way he knows during the date earlier on that it has to go down or it will never happen. And that's the view you should have. It has to go down or it will never happen. There is nothing to lose, okay? So you must, another quote, another Fight Club quote that's gonna be a nice little theme for this video.
First you have to know, not fear. Know that someday you're gonna die.
You must know, absolutely, not fear, but know that someday you will die. It's true, you will, okay? You will die. You will also fail. The relationship with the girl that you're with will probably eventually end. In the end, it's all gonna come to a big pile of nothing. Most likely, even if you become the most successful together ruler of the world person and leave a legacy of 1,000 million children, however many, even then, sooner or later, the world will probably explode and it probably will come to nothing, okay? So enjoy it while you're here, push like a motherfucker while you're here, have the experience, make things amazing. Make things amazing. Don't spend too much of your time saving up for the future. That's the reason, that's the single reason why I was 19 before I got laid, was that. I was saving for the future. I was actually afraid of sex because I thought of myself as this unique, special snowflake that was destined for these amazing things, and because of that, I preserved myself like a little trading card, and it's like a little unopened wrapper, right? I didn't want to have any experience. I didn't want to like tarnish it. I don't want to do anything with it because I didn't want to hurt the pristineness of me. And by doing that, guess what? I never accomplished anywhere near the types of things that I could accomplish. So it was only by taking those risks and risking everything, risking tarnishing myself, risking losing it all, that I was able to actually achieve and begin being the person that successful, together, incredible person that could do amazing things that I knew that I could be, right? So it's kind of Zen in that way too, all right? But the point is this: don't get too attached to who you are. Don't get too attached to planning for the future. Don't get too attached to not losing what you have. Anything and everything you have other than yourself and your experiences can be taken away, okay? There's always a bigger, stronger guy. There's always someone with a gun. There's always a natural disaster. Anything you have can be taken away, so don't get too attached to it. Get attached to your experiences, get attached to what you can do, and to building yourself up, sure, but realize it can all go away, and you better have enjoyed it by the time it does. All right, that's it. Kind of gone around in circles, but I hope you get the idea. Yeah, play hard, play to win, never have anything to lose. All right, just to sign off, I'm gonna give you one thought. I've given this thought before on Twitter. I don't know if I put it in a video, but stop trying to make it work, start trying to make it epic. Stop trying to save something for the future. Stop trying to plan ahead all the time. Have an amazing experience, do what you can, the best in that moment, and just let the chips fall where they may. Okay, till next time.